Hey everyone, welcome back to another explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're unpacking a really fascinating economic scenario. It sounds like the ultimate dream, right? But it hides a pretty startling reality. We're going to look at the economic impact of a fictional endless money glitch and see what it actually teaches us about the very real world of wealth and inflation. So grab your notes, get comfortable, and let's just jump right in. So think about this tantalizing hypothetical for a second. What if a bank could just multiply money endlessly? I mean, would that single-handedly wipe out poverty and make all of us rich? Or would it literally destroy the economy? It's a question that taps into a fantasy pretty much everyone has had at some point, hasn't it? Part 1. The Endless Money Dream. Now, if you're familiar with the classic animated series Doraemon, you probably remember the multiplication bank. Just picture Nobita's pure, unadulterated excitement as this machine just keeps churning out cash. You've got sudden, staggering wealth on one side, and this machine tirelessly producing endless stacks of money on the other. It's a brilliant cartoon-style depiction of every kid's, and frankly, let's be honest, every adult's ultimate financial fantasy. Because endless money means endless possibilities, right? And that initial cartoon joy of the whole scenario, it makes total sense. If you've got an infinite stack of bills, you can buy whatever you want, exactly when you want it. We're instantly set up to believe this magical machine is the ultimate fix for everything. But as we're about to see, applying real-world economic logic introduces a kind of dark twist to this dream. Part 2. The Multiplication Bank Explained. You see, this isn't just a cartoon theory. It maps out a really rigid economic chain reaction. We start at step 1 with unlimited money creation thanks to the machine. Well, that triggers step 2, an increased money supply, which inevitably forces step 3, reduced purchasing power, ultimately culminating in step 4, hyperinflation. To really grasp this whole shebang, we need to break down exactly what these steps mean for you and me. Let's zoom in on step 2. Money supply is just the total amount of money circulating in the economy. When that multiplication bank machine turns on, it forcefully expands this supply. It's injecting brand new currency into the system without any limitations whatsoever. So the money supply doesn't just grow, it explodes, completely detaching from the actual size of the real-world economy. And that brings us to the absolutely crucial point, step 3, purchasing power. This is the value of a currency, basically expressed in the amount of goods or services that one single unit of money can actually buy. When that endless money glitch floods the system, it instantly dilutes the value of every single dollar you already have in your pocket, because now you've got vastly more dollars chasing the exact same amount of goods. The actual power of your individual dollar just shrinks. Part 3. The hyperinflation reality. Try to visualize this chaos for a second. Imagine walking into a crowded marketplace and suddenly you notice the price tags on everyday items are just rising. The cost of basic groceries starts climbing, not by the year, but literally by the minute. Your shrinking purchasing power means that the wallet full of cash you brought is no longer enough to buy what you bought just yesterday. It's this frantic, incredibly stressful environment where money is literally losing its meaning in real time. And there's a profound irony here that we really have to emphasize. On one hand, you have a massive, cartoonish stack of multiplied money. You're technically a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire. But on the other hand, a single everyday item, like a loaf of bread, has a soaring price tag that matches your massive stack of cash. Everyone has way more physical bills, but incredibly, they can actually afford to buy less. The wealth is completely an illusion. Part 4. Historical examples of hyperinflation. To put this into real perspective, let's compare our Doraemon case study directly with actual historical realities. If we look at Zimbabwe and Weimar Germany, where people famously had to use literal wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy a single loaf of bread, this central mechanism was exactly the same, printing money without backing. And the result? Exactly the same, hyperinflation. The underlying mechanics just don't change, whether it's a cartoon or real life. The takeaway from those historical events is stark and pretty unavoidable. Printing money without producing real value always leads to an economic crash. And hey, this isn't about taking political sides or pointing fingers. It's simply impartial economic mechanics at work. When the money supply totally detaches from the actual value an economy produces, a crash is just mathematically inevitable. Part 5. The true source of wealth. So the crucial point we finally arrive at is this. True wealth isn't about printing money at all. It relies entirely on 3 core pillars: productivity, innovation, and creating goods and services. That is what actually builds a strong economy. It's the tangible value people create for one another, not the amount of paper currency just floating around out there. To really drive this core thesis home, we just need to contrast these two realities. Simply printing money, like the multiplication bank does, is just inflation. It's the illusion of an endless money glitch. Producing actual goods and services, on the other hand, well, that's real wealth. It provides economic stability, actual purchasing power, and true tangible value to society. Which brings us to our final provocative thought for today. We've gone all the way from the euphoria of Nobita's endless cash to the sobering realities of historical hyperinflation. So I leave you with this. Would the multiplication bank save the world or accidentally crash it? I think the economic mechanics speak for themselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the true nature of money and wealth. Keep exploring these theories, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.